Hey everybody, and welcome back to Techstrong Unplugged. I'm your host, Nathan Solomon, and this is episode 22 of our series. In this episode, we're taking you to ViewCon 2024. At ViewCon, our co-host Cassandra Chin met up with Gant Laborde, and they discussed the power of innovation. Gant is the Chief Innovation Officer at Infinite Red, and in this discussion, we'll explore the intersection of technology, leadership, and culture. As someone who's risen from a developer to a leader, Gant sheds light on the importance of creativity and rest in the tech industry. Without further ado, let's head over to ViewCon 2024.
Welcome back to Techstrong Unplugged. My name is Cassandra Chin, and today we have Gant.
Hey, everybody.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name's Gant Laborde. I've been in software development for over 20 years. I have worked at a myriad of companies before finding open source, which got me into the world of finding my business partners, one in Portland and the other one in Las Vegas. We form Infinite Red, which is a 100% remote company based in the U.S., and we have been a company for coming up on 10 years now. It's been a wonderful adventure, and now I get to talk to fantastic people and go to conferences and just enjoy life.
So what do you like most about what you're doing now?
So I like to say the fact that I found the company, well, they found me, that if I retired tomorrow, I'd stay doing the same thing. And that's the luxury of something that you really don't learn growing up in the United States. It's always about get more, have more, hustle more, sleep less. And I don't know if just the tech industry has figured it out, but sleeping is important, rest is important, creativity is important. You can't slam people into a creative environment. And where I am now, I get to work creatively. I get to work with the best people in the world, and I get to just enjoy things. So the ultimate part of what it is like you get to choose now who you surround yourself with. And that's my luxury. I get to choose who I get to surround myself with.
What is your main job? What do you do?
So I am the Chief Innovation Officer of Infinite Red. What I used to be is just a developer there, and I loved it so much that I was leading initiatives, open source, conferences, and then ultimately I was getting job offers from all the big companies, and I said, I need to find the excuse to stay. And they said, come in and be an owner. So I bought in as an owner in the company, and now I have this innovation front end where I go out and I find technologies that are coming up and coming. I know a ton about AI. I've been doing AI since 2017, and I wrote a book on it called Learning TensorFlow.js with O'Reilly Publishing. And I get to sort of steer the ship with the long-term viewpoint that our company really appreciates.
Have you been working with AI before it became super popular?
You know what's funny is I keep wondering when it's become super popular, because in 2012, it started to be able to do things that humans could do. Find a bird in this photo, do this and that, identify these characters. It actually started to become superhuman in its technology, where it was capable of actually figuring out what's in this photo here and there. And so in 2017, there was that episode of Silicon Valley, Hot Dog, Not Hot Dog. And I saw the source code for it. And I said, how come I can't read this? I've been coding for so long. How come I can't read the source code? And that got me into machine learning then. And then it was just, that's it. Courses upon courses upon courses.
You said you couldn't read the source code. It's like machine learning stuff hard to, or impossible.
It was absolutely impossible for me to comprehend, because now today we know a lot about models. We understand the data. We understand that it's got forward and backward propagation. The way that deep learning's kind of like a common phrase now. But you have to understand, when I first saw these things, and I saw the architecture of the model and the data that was pushing through it, I was like, where's the source code? Where is it? I don't understand what's happening here. They're just setting up this thing and then throwing some data in it, some weights, some random numbers between 0 and 1, and then this thing can tell you whether or not a hot dog is or not in a photo. And that blew my mind. I was like, I have to understand this. Because I think one of the things that's really cool is computers could do this thing that nobody else could do, then websites could do this thing that nobody else could do. mobile apps could do this thing nobody else could do, and now AI is doing something that nobody's ever done before, and it's that Greenfield awesome energy all over again.
I see. So it's getting everyone excited about it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So I got excited in 2017. However, arguably, the people who were ahead of me were the people taking the courses in 2012 and understanding the image, doing computer vision, breaking ground on that. They saw it way before I did.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a bit about like leadership skills?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So running a company means that I have to marry together the idea of this technology with people. And so that's been a new initiative as well. If you've ever tried to talk people into doing something, there's the easiest way, which is authority, but there's actually 6 other ways that you're supposed to talk people into understanding, maintaining, and owning an effortful project for them. And joining the company and getting into the executive section of that is very different, because I used to make clients very happy. You just do whatever they want. You're the hero, you know? You just code whatever they need and then manage expectations, and it's great. Running a company means doing that in a 4th dimension of just time, which is each person's at a different part in their journey, and you have to apply the right move for where that game is in its state. It's really, really complex and extremely rewarding. So being part of a company, I definitely have a new penchant for learning leadership skills.
When you manage your company, do you have to manage like different teams and organizations?
Yeah, but we are fortunate enough that we get to choose who we surround ourselves with. So my company is all senior devs that are mature in their academic and coding careers. And so managing them really is a lot easier. If I was really brave, I would manage juniors. But that gives me somewhere to go too, right? I have to start somewhere. Managing senior software devs is both rewarding and easy.
Do the seniors manage juniors?
No. We actually, since we're only 30 people, and, every time I tell people that, they're like, I can't believe your company is only 30 people, because if you look up anything on some of the React Native mobile development, we're the first company that comes up, and we're the U.S. powerhouse for that. So what ends up happening is we only have 30 people, and so we don't actually have any junior developers, which is kind of nice. It helps us sell some contracts. They're like, we want nothing but seniors. It's like, that's all we have.
Is there anything else of interest you want to talk about?
Oh, my God. Well, how much time do you have? I will just talk all day with you.
Talking, and I'll stop you when it's appropriate.
So here we are in New Orleans, one of the best cities in the entire world, with a culture that is unique and different from almost everywhere else. We have architecture of French and Spanish, food influences, both Cajun and Creole. We have all the different kinds of things jammed into one spot in a port city that has been flourishing for the past 100 years. And then the conference comes here, and everybody gets to experience just a little bit of a taste of that. But honestly, there's so much more to the technology, the culture, and the energy that comes here for this that you get like a taste of here at ViewCon. And so I love talking about the city because I live in New Orleans. And I also love talking about the initiatives of like kind of growing up here, which is actually really difficult when you're all into technology and everybody's into drinking and food. And then the other aspect of it is that people come here and they fall in love. Like, this is a wonderful place. There's a lot of technology people that move to New Orleans simply because if you have a remote job, you don't have to go in office. You get to choose whatever is right out front your door. They choose culture. So I am a big fan of here. Any city that's got great culture, I love. Atlanta, New Orleans, Amsterdam. Like, it's really nice.
Is it mainly a food culture, or what else is there?
You know, here I would say it's a music and food culture. It's all about how things feel here. It's about taking things easy. It's about Honestly, I think it's the pill that we all need when with our like work, put all the time in, especially the startup culture, which is, sleep on the ping pong table kind of style that we get from California. It's the antithesis of that. It's the other pill that lets you sort of just remember what's really important to you. And I think that's the fulfilling life that I'm looking for, and most people are.
That's interesting, because I actually come from California.
Yeah, exactly.
Very work-intensive culture.
It is. It's a groundbreaking, work-intensive, amazing culture that can only go so far on that sort of same leg, that same energy, that same structure. At some point, you need to come back to the tide needs to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've always lived in New Orleans?
Yes, almost moved a few times. Chose not to. Yeah.
You always come back to this conference?
Yeah, I love ViewConf. Any conference, there's a million great conferences that come through New Orleans. ViewConf is put on by Pratik and Vincent, Connected Events, and they know how to do an excellent conference. I also go to several of their other conferences that they have. They run Connect Tech in Atlanta. That's a great one. They also help run Dev Nexus, one in Chicago, Dallas, and a bunch of other places. I know that conference needs to focus on the people, as you could tell. I've talked about that a lot. And they do. So anytime they're around, I'm surely going to their conference.
So you really care about the people?
Yeah. I love technology, but you have to understand that without other people, you're just sitting in a dark room looking at lights, right? There's something non-significant about that. There's something insignificant about this kind of like, we all felt Zoom burnout, right? During the pandemic, we were disconnected from each other. One of the things that really identifies that I see people wanting without knowing how to put it into words is that your work code changes every single day. It's like ice sculptures every day. You can't really watch it over a period of time. You go back and look at what you did 5 years ago. It looks terrible or it's trash. You have to be proud of like the wins. And what are the wins? They're the things that you did that people called wins. And then you start to see that line goes, I care about what influenced people. And when you care about that, you say like, now I'm going to look directly into it, right? I care about the connections I make. And here's the best part. People are a lifelong thing. You can spend the rest of your life learning about people. It doesn't change like a framework. There's no people version 2.0 or 3.0, despite what California tries to do. We're all running on the same software. We all still want that same connection. We all still want that same in-person event with a great MC and fantastic talks.
So when you're looking at code and you think your code is bad, like, is how you determine how good your code is or not, like not the code itself, but how other people kind of think of it?
Yeah, think about that. Why do we hate cowboy coders? Because projects used to be so small, there would be like one person who wrote those apps. Back when apps came out in the 90s and people wrote software, it was one person making all the games, making all this stuff. It was different one-person camps. That doesn't work anymore. Now we figured out how to beat that and make a more impressive kind of culture around the idea of developing ever-evolving software. And, there's, of course, the rule that the connection amongst the people reflects in the connection amongst the software. The bugs in communication amongst the team reflects the bugs that are in the software. It's a Conway's Law, right? So what's great about that is we're just looking at a reflection of what we really want.
It's an interesting look at it.
It's honestly taken me a long time to figure this out, so learn from me if you can on this and improve on it.
I think we talked about a lot of interesting things today.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we did too. We didn't talk enough about your cool shirt or your book or any of the other stuff.
Yeah, it's about you.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I am super happy to be here, being in New Orleans, software for 20 years, traveling the world, meeting and talking to amazing people. And thanks for having me.
Thank you, Gant.